Hello, everybody. I'm Simply,
I'm Cheese.
and this is the Two Dads Podcast Live. Yeah.
I love it, dude. Perfect intro every time. How are you guys doing? We are back with Two Dads Podcast episode. Which episode is this in? No one knows.
22.
22.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound right. We're just flying.
Yeah, it
dude,
is.
making moves.
The last, pretty sure the last one was 21. We're 22 already. Yeah, man. We are here with an amazing man. But first, Simply has got
I've got the scoop.
The scoop for us. So hit us with some
I do have
news.
the scoop.
What's going on in the world?
All right. The world of speedrunning is a magnificent one indeed. Let me take you for a little dive into what exactly is going on. Well, the hottest thing this past week is probably the tied to the frame Stravos 96 and Lil Curbs 14 in the GSA Super Mario Odyssey 90% tournament race. What are your thoughts on that, Cheese?
I mean, I tweeted about it and it got up to 1,000 likes. I've never had a tweet in my life that went up to 1,000 likes apart from the world record tweet that I got the 139 on. So, I mean, it's insanity to even think about. It's 60 FPS game, 1 hour long speedrun, and it comes down to a tie to the frame, dude. Like, I can't. My question is, has it ever happened in speedrun history of a game of that length? Second question.
It's a good question.
Second question is, like, how, well, not question, but I guess statement or observation is like, not only did it happen, but in an actual tournament with prize money setting, it's just, it's insanity.
It's nuts. It is indeed nuts, and that actually happened in the Big Simp Invitational as well. There was a tie to the frame. Not as impressive for a 16-star race, but still pretty crazy. Yeah. And they've had to do a lot of retimes at this point. GSA, I say they, but I mean, we're GSA, but I'm not doing retiming. Our boy Gothic Logic, always coming in clutch, has the ability to just look at it with his special eyes.
Yeah, Gothic Logic has always been, for years in the Mario community, just the guy to go to. The go-to guy for moderation, for retiming. So shout outs to him. And
we got some upside down hearts. Doesn't really look like an upside down heart. I actually have a different idea for what that could be. But,
yeah, I'm pretty sure we
nice. Know. But anyway, besides that, we've got a new Wind Waker HD any percent record, 5809 by Ian Miles 29. That record's coming down. I mean, I remember when it was just cut in the one, and people were like, "Which one's going to cut the one first? Wind Waker HD any percent or Odyssey any percent?" And we're getting there with Odyssey, but it has just gone flying with Wind Waker. I don't know if there's new strats or if people are just bopping off, but kind of nutty. Nutty.
Yeah.
New Half-Life 2 world record in 102.29. Shout outs to the man himself. God, I don't. Hold on. I think it's Matt Miller. Commentator, not ready for giving the news. Maltum Eller. I don't really know how to say his name, but shout out to him. Got the world record.
Yeah, we're definitely commentators. That's for sure.
I mean, we're commentating. Commentator locked into commentary position, never can get out of it.
Right.
Real problem. 2 days ago, Mr. Chaos Pringle got a 1 hour 39-second PB in SMO. SMO, popping off. Absolutely popping off. The competition is fierce. Equan still sitting pretty at first place, but it's
pretty, but pretty close too, by 1 second. So
yeah, and actually, okay, that record was around earlier. I'm going off of the Speedrun Reddit, and which stuff doesn't get always posted right away, but yeah, that's about all I got, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what's going on with the two dads today, Cheese? Can you give me a little rundown? Who's our man?
Okay, so we have. I mean, everyone is looking forward to this guy coming back. He really blew up earlier this year and last year. He's a YouTuber. Well, he used to stream on Twitch all the time too. He used to go by a different name. I don't know if he wants me to call the name, so I'm just gonna not say it just in case. But he usually does YouTube now, and he has almost 200,000 subscribers. he makes a lot of speedrunning content. Top tens, a lot of controversy stuff too, cheating and speedrun, a lot of saucy things and
some exposes.
Expose. And well, he wasn't around for most of this year, but now he's back, and we're gonna ask him, what's up, what's going on, why he was in here, and what he plans on doing, and all that juicy stuff. But without further ado, let's welcome the man himself, ApolloLegend. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
No,
Thanks for having me on.
Welcome, sir.
How you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Awesome. Okay, so well, tell us. Usually we always do an intro of who we have on. So I guess a nice little intro, who you are, how you started.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is actually exciting to talk about because I never talk about this. And a lot of people probably don't know that I got into speedrunning late 2013. That's when I started speedrunning Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I saw the any percent run. It was like 20 minutes. I thought, how is that even possible? I'd never even beaten Ocarina of Time. People are gonna be mad at me for this. I've never even beaten that game casually. But then I saw the any percent speed run. I was like, what the hell? How is that? That doesn't even make sense. I got to do this. And so I got into it, like specifically for the speed run, not even for the game. And so that's really like that's where I like learned the most. That's really where I gained all my skills as a speedrunner. I played any percent, and then this new Ganonless route came out, and the Ganonless is the second fastest way to beat Ocarina of Time, where you instead of warping to the collapse sequence, you warp straight into the credits from Fire Temple. And some people kind of debate whether or not that's beating the game, but it's the second fastest way that we consider you can beat the game. And so I remember ZFG had a record. It was 37:22. And then this new route came out where we found out you could use bomb chews, and this saved a few minutes. And he did one run. He got a 37:21. He beat it by 1 second. And so it wasn't it wasn't a good run by his standards. And so it was like the perfect learning curve for me because I got to set this goal. Like, I'm going to go beat ZFG, the legendary ZFG. And it's not even that great of a record. So it's the perfect amount of motivation. And so that's really where I went from being like, I don't know, like a noob to a moderate player. Right. Then I went and I speedran Gex. I don't know if you guys have ever played Gex 3. I won't get too deep into that because I know no one knows that game. But I actually was the first one to wrong warp in that game. I was the first one to successfully do it. Someone else gave me the idea, and then I was able to do it for the first time. And that record was brought down from like an hour to now it's like 14 minutes or something using that wrong warp. So yeah, that's a little background on me. That's like the major stuff I've done.
Sure.
So, funny story. I mean, I never really beat Mario 64 before I started speedrunning either.
No kidding.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I probably beat the game when I was really young, but I never ever got all the stars. I never owned the game as a child. I played Ocarina of Time way more than Mario 64 as a child. I guess it was just the fact that watching Mario, it got me so excited because I was really into that fast paced kind of like just the faster paced kind of low RNG speedrunning. And I had the game on VC already, so I was like, let me just start playing the game, and I got into it. So yeah, pretty interesting. You gonna say that's something similar, Sim?
Oh, well, yeah, that's kind of the same thing. I saw Stiglomic going, but I wanted to touch on, so you speedran originally. That's how you got into the community. But moving into the YouTube side of things, when did that happen, and what inspired you to get that going?
So it's interesting how, like, when things go wrong in your life, it can open up new possibilities.
It is interesting.
Because when I was 19 or so, I started getting like really bad carpal tunnel, and now I've improved it quite a bit to where I can play games again. But it got really bad to the point where I couldn't hold a controller for like more than an hour or so, and it was just unrealistic to speedrun anymore. And so I was just kind of like, well, that sucks. That's life, I guess. I'm done speedrunning. And so I just quit. But I was still, I still cared about what was going on. I was still involved and paying attention. And then I saw this YouTube channel, GR Smash, and that was really my inspiration because I saw, like, there's so much crossover between Smash and speedrunning. If this can work in Smash, then of course it's going to work in speedrunning too. And there's no one doing it, so someone should go do it. So that was really the beginning.
Yeah, the GR Smash was one of the I think it was the first Melee YouTuber that I found that was like this channel you can go to and see like pretty much all these different tournaments and really understand like Melee really quickly. Yeah, I could totally see that. And everything good?
Yeah, I don't I just got a new computer and it's like set to go on sleep mode every 10 minutes or something.
Oh shoot. Okay. But yeah, I mean that's cool, man. That was around what time exactly?
That would have been the summer of 2016. It was June.
Okay.
It was June of 2016 that I started my YouTube channel.
All right.
Yeah, GR Smash, the whole highlight thing, that's like,
yeah.
I feel like not only in Smash and speedrunning, but just in general, like people love highlights, like these digestible clips. You'll find them of like
that's
motivational speakers a lot.
That's the whole reason I started watching Smash was because of GR.
That's awesome. And at that time, there wasn't like a Glad Jonas, there wasn't an Easy Escape, or was there? I'm trying to remember.
No, it was GDQ and like world record and PBs.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, 2017
so
was
just huge opportunity for like anyone to make literally anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm even a great video editor. I'm very average. But it's because there was no one else doing anything. That I just had all this like free opportunity. If I'd come along a few years later, the odds that people would have started watching me is very low.
I don't think it was only that too. I think as well is that the videos that you came out with were just happened to be those exact topics and things that people wanted to see or learn more about. So it's when you came out with these things and like the top 10 runners caught cheating and this kind of stuff, it was like the most intriguing title you could see. And then the good thing is that the videos delivered.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that the videos, you see the title and then you think this can't be real or whatever, and then the videos were actually about exactly what the title said. So it was much more intriguing and people actually wanted to know about it.
Well, thank you. I think that in speedrunning there's kind of a weird atmosphere. Like they don't really, in general, speedrunners don't want to talk about certain topics. I've noticed this like when anything controversial happens and you go into someone's stream. I don't know if this is still the case, but when I used to do this all the time, people were very like, don't talk about that, don't talk about that. We're not talking, no drama, no drama. And so it was like, and you see like that Reddit, that subreddit that all the speedrunners hate, r/SamandTolkien. The whole reason that place exists is because of the censorship of those kinds of discussions. If you had a place where those types of discussions were going on, well, I mean, that's where it is now. And so I feel like in speedrunning, there's like so much suppression of topics that people want to hear about that, again, it's just another huge opportunity for someone to come along and do what other people aren't doing.
Mm-hmm. So that's funny you mentioned that because there was recently this huge drama thing going on regarding GDQ on Twitter and whatever. And yeah, I pretty much saw the same thing. People were just scared to say anything and talk about it. I'm not really afraid. I just talk about it anyway, but yeah, I know I could definitely get you there.
So you kind of, it seemed like you sort of made that shift. Like you had these top 10 videos going, they're pretty neutral, pretty like not controversial, no drama, but then you started kind of diving into the more like expose type videos. What do you think's your reasoning for going in that direction?
Well, I had some older videos. Like the first commentary videos I did were actually kind of like similar. They were kind of like a prototype. They weren't very good, but it was like I did a video about like Mike Uwama and some people, whatever, some controversial topics. I got a lot of crap for that. I don't remember why I stopped. I actually don't remember why I stopped. But then at some point I started doing just kind of top 10s about really just about, like ignoring all the drama and all that, but really focusing on speedrun. But then what was it, man? I think it really was, what it was is when I started going into the Todd Rogers case and I realized how deep this went. And then I started seeing how deep it was everywhere and how it was like endemic to classic, like cheating was endemic to classic gaming and speedrunning. And it's like completely, like it's everywhere. Like it's, people really underestimate, I really underestimated how bad it was. And so when I started making those videos, then I was like, okay, this seems more important to me right now.
Okay.
That's definitely a fair point. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, top 10s, like, they're fun, they're enjoyable, but they're not like groundbreaking.
I feel like there's not the same impact with those. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, but it's yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think it's entertaining, and it would always be entertaining, but it's not like that groundbreaking. Oh my gosh, this is a turning point kind of thing or whatever.
Right.
So do you think, because you mentioned when you got into the drama and then you were getting crap for it, did you getting crap for certain videos, did that affect you? Do you think it kind of made you might want to change what you were doing, or did you not care about it?
It's easy. Like, it's easy to say that it's just words on the screen. It doesn't affect me, and it doesn't that much. But there is almost I don't really care, but there is something you can't get away from. There's like a part of your human psychology that when you have a whole group of people attacking you, you're wired not to like that. You're not supposed to enjoy that. So my solution, like, I didn't want to stop doing what I was doing, but it was annoying me, and so my solution was just to stop reading it. And so I just stopped reading Twitter, stopped reading YouTube comments, and I just put out what I felt like I needed to, and talk to the people who I wanted to. And that's still what I do. Like, I feel way better for it now. I don't really read YouTube comments. I never read my Twitter feed.
Right.
If there's something like important, then someone will let me know about it, and then I'll go look it up. But I'm not. I just avoid it pretty much. I just, like, the way I see the internet is this amazing tool to make your life better. And if it's not making your life better, you have all the power to turn it off at any time. And so that's how I see it. If it's not helping me grow, if it's not helping my life in some way, then I'm not gonna waste my time on it.
It really is that simple, isn't it? I mean, the concept is simple, but human beings, we can't help it.
It's hard. Yeah, it's the tribal nature.
Because you want to see what people think. Like, it can be really fun to read feedback and be like, "Oh, I love your videos. Like, I look forward to every one." But then you have a comment that's like, "Go kill yourself," and you're like that comment will cut. Like, those comments cut deep. You gotta. It's weird how that works. Like, you get 100.
Those comments actually don't bother me so much from the random people. What did bother me though was all these people who I thought had been my friends for all these years, suddenly just flipped just like that. As soon as the group decided they hate me, it was just instant. Just, I hate that guy. Fuck that guy.
Yep.
And it was kind of just disappointing to see that from people, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe jumping the gun a bit here, but I saw this question that Vac asked in chat that's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
So you might be seeing the same one. Vac says, "Someone please ask Apollo if he thinks speedrun videos have hit a cap in terms of popularity." What do you think about that?
A cap? I don't know. Why would there be a cap right now?
I guess maybe.
I definitely don't think so.
Maybe a
plateau.
plateau.
We're really far away.
Maybe a plateau is a better word for it.
Well, I don't think we're gonna see. Okay, I don't think it's gonna grow in that, like, we're gonna be seeing speedrun videos with like tens of millions of views. But I think there's gonna be more people. I mean, there's always more. It feels really like the community has grown a lot.
Yeah.
Just since I've come back in the last year, and I feel like just as more and more people come in, that is gonna lead to more content. It's gonna lead. And the other thing is, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not like if someone makes a video that's really popular, that like takes away from you. That just adds more of an audience for you to tap into. So it's like we're all building this thing together. I don't think we're at a cap.
I don't think so either. I think oops, sorry about that. My phone was coming up. I think these same people, they just need to keep making videos. Or what I actually realized recently, I've been watching quite a few videos, and I noticed that a lot of the speedrun content creators on YouTube tend to fall into the same line of videos, or same. It's like they do the same type of videos, right? So maybe we just need a slightly different angle. Like, I guess Summoning Salts is quite different to everybody else. He does his whole idea as a Woodworker progression. So maybe it might seem to some people that there's a cap in the audience of viewership, but maybe we just need a different angle now.
Right, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, if it's that style, like if you just go out and make world record progressions, that might be kind of near a cap. But there is kind of this repetitive pattern of thinking in speedrunning, because you think about like the personalities that the hobby of speedrunning is going to attract. It's going to attract people who are more predisposed to like repetition. And so you see that come up again and again in the community where there's like a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's speedrunning. Speedrunning is all about repetitions. It's kind of hard to break from it, right?
Right, exactly, right.
That's where you got to get creative, man. You got to twist it in a way, and I think you've done a good job of doing that. Like, I feel like your content is very, it stands out. It seems like everybody's kind of carved their own niche at this point. Like, you've got your thing. Easyscape's got his little niche. Summoning Salt's got his, like, these very informative, very deep things, and they all like work together to be really solid entertainment. They're all like different avenues. I'm wondering what'll be next, but
yeah, there's surely so many different ways you could angle it, I'm sure.
Yeah, cool. Well, I wanted to ask, for your videos, how much digging are you doing, and how much of it is your personal, like, okay, I want to do this video, or are people coming at you with a bunch of clips and ideas, and you're like, all right, I want this idea, I want these clips?
Oh, it's always me. I don't even really like sharing what I'm working on until it's done.
Okay.
It's just it's just me kind of browsing. I mean, people send me stuff, but I don't know if I've ever made a video off something someone sent me. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so cutting a little bit deep into some saucy things that I'm sure people want to get to know. So everyone knows, that you have been absent for most of 2018. People have always asked questions, where people ask me a lot in chat too throughout the year, have you seen Apollo? What's he up to? Have you been talking to him? So I guess we asked you, where have you been this year? What have you been doing? And, why the sudden comeback, I guess? Or was it a sudden comeback?
Sorry, I was thinking about something else. I totally just spaced. What were you asking?
Oh,
you're asking what I was doing this year.
Yeah.
Right. It's I don't have a super satisfying answer for this because people keep asking me, and it's like I don't know what to tell them because there's no like definitive answer. I've just been working on like myself and trying to like put my life in the right direction. That's really all it is. That's what I've realized. Like my purpose, like I've been looking too much outwards, trying to improve the world around me to make myself happier when I need to be looking inwards to try to develop my own character. And so that's like really what I've been just thinking about. And then just, paying my bills and staying alive and that stuff. But
yeah. So that's pretty much it. It wasn't like Todd Rogers or any of these boys coming at you.
No, there's no. Yeah, people were thinking I was like dead in someone's dungeon or something. No.
Billy Mitchell got you.
Yeah. Okay, that makes
interesting. How's that been then? How's the personal journey going?
I've learned more in the last year than any other time in my life.
Can you imagine?
I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a totally different world that I'm living in.
Really?
I feel like I understand my purpose a lot better, and that I'm not on this planet to like be happy or to any of that. Like I'm on this planet to grow. Like I'm on here to face trials and tribulations and to like face them with courage and go out and do what it is that I need to do. And I feel like I'm way more centered on that goal now than ever before.
Nice.
I mean, that sums it up perfectly. I think I'd actually say the same, that I think this year I've learned the most. And I've kind of like gauged what my future will be like the most in this year out of every other year. I feel the same way. I think
self-reflection is important.
Yeah, I think we're in that age too,
Yeah, definitely finding out your purpose, finding out what you really like. Would you be willing to share, like, for people out there that may have not found their purpose or what they like doing? What do you got for them?
Well, I can't answer that. That's a personal question. You have to find out for yourself. But just don't. Well, I guess my advice would be don't listen to anyone else. Ironically,
Okay.
So don't listen to anyone. Just figure. It's all you have to figure out. You have to have the courage to go against the group and really, really act on what you believe on instead of what others are telling you to do.
That's a really good point. Like, you know better than anyone else what you want
You
and
do,
what you
you do.
like.
You know it like internally. It's not even like you don't even know it like cognitively. It's like you know it on a deeper intuitive level.
Yeah,
You just have to follow your intuition.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
beautiful.
Oh, well,
Okay.
I was expecting something a little saucier, but I mean, that's pretty saucy though. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I'm glad the journey is going well. Awesome to hear. Smashbox.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called? Yeah, Smashbox.
got one
You've
right
been
here. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that.
Ooh.
there. It is. The video that dropped 10 months later. What's going on? Smashbox. You've been using it. In your personal opinion, is it the best controller?
It's the coolest controller. I'll say that.
Okay.
I like it a lot. I started using it because just normal controllers, it puts your hands like in that weird, like that is the worst position to put your hands.
Yeah.
Like in that weird, like, yeah, it's not good. And then you're smashing away with your fingers multiple times per second. So the idea was to get a flat controller that I could, it's just like typing, so it's less strain on the wrist. That was really the idea.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I was watching parts of your live stream that you did using the Smashbox, and I mean, you seem pretty good at it already. How long have you been using it?
Well, it's I think it looks more complicated than it really is.
Okay.
I've only been using it for a few months, but that's why I like it. Is because, and I also have an excuse to be bad now, so it's perfect.
But I mean, like, I saw you explain about like OT, for example, like, doing holding ESS position, doing Hesses and all that stuff. It's a lot easier. Like, so that
so much easier. Yeah, it's just a button. I mean, it's just a button.
Exactly. That brings up the question now. It's like, well, can this be a thing? Is it something that people are going to start wanting to get into? And if enough people start using it, is this gonna become the new controller for some games?
Yeah, there is some serious like legality questions in regards to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like, yeah, I don't know. It's getting near the line for sure. I think I would ban it, but I would be open to hearing other people's opinions. It's just, I mean, it's like ESS adapters are legal, right? It's one input, one output. Like, it does follow that rule, but it kind of makes you question if that rule makes sense or not, because that is easier. But then, see, this is the other thing, is like, if a controller, even if this controller has less potential and it makes one thing easier, but then another thing harder, like it has less angles, so the movement's a little bit harder. Is that fair? Like, you're almost playing a different game at that point. It's not even the test of skill is like coming in a different. I don't know. It's weird. It is a weird gray area. I think what it's going to take is someone needs to like get a record with it so that it can officially be banned. I think that's what needs to happen.
Well, Pity just dropped in chat, for Ocarina of Time on leaderboards, we banned analog inputs through digital buttons about a year ago. So I guess then it would be.
See, they were ahead
it would
of me.
be banned.
It would be banned.
They got you.
That's good to know. I haven't been keeping up on the rules.
I mean, it might come up somewhere else, but it definitely seems like something that we either ignore now and then it comes back later, which would be unfortunate. Like, somebody specializes in Smashbox, they're like, oh, I'm going to get the record. And then you get it, and then people are like, this is OP. It's too good. Even though you spent like a year practicing it, you're banned from the league.
Yeah, it could be like, not allowed. It could be like maybe like an option to like select or deselect on the leaderboards. I don't know. Or it could be like a different category or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I think it should go game by game. Like Mario 64 or like GoldenEye, I think it's totally legit because it's just worse in every way.
Sure.
But for like Ocarina of Time, I would definitely ban it.
Yeah, because like, so there are a few MU later runners for Mario 64 that play on keyboard, and well, technically keyboard is they're all buttons too, right? So it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah, it is pretty much.
And
like, if you played without the tilt modifiers, then it would be just like playing on a keyboard.
Right. So that's pretty interesting to think about. But and there's
I
still
wonder
able
if
to
you
play.
could program. I wonder if you could program a keyboard like with the tilt modifiers into an emulator, so you could do that. That might be the way of the future. Once all the N64s burn out and all the carts stop working, that might be the way to go.
I mean, it'd be the only option, right?
Maybe N64 Classic might possibly maybe
N64
be a
Mini.
thing.
Sure.
Yeah, N64 Mini, that could be pretty dope.
Could only hope so.
All right, well, switching gears a little bit, let's rewind. Let's talk Oceanside. Through your eyes, ApolloLegend, what was that like?
Yeah, what was that?
What was that?
What was that?
Well, I went over I mean, do you want the full backstory?
Yes.
I can just give you the full story.
Sure. Go ahead.
So the idea of a new speedrun marathon is not a new idea. This is something people have wanted for a while, and something I'd floated in a few videos of mine. And I'd been talking with Goose about possibly getting this going. We had talked to some runners, and then this guy Raging Cherry reached out to me after he saw one of my videos, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to make this happen for real?" And so I was like, "Dude, let's do it." Because Raging Cherry is this big Smash TO. He organizes Smash the Record. He's a real legit dude. And so, we started getting in calls, figuring out locations, contacting people, getting that all ready. And then, and I don't know exactly why, but for some reason, at some point, Cherry was like, "Sorry guys, I can't do it anymore. I got to drop out." And my big mistake at this point, because the plan up to this point in my head was that Cherry would run the event, and then I would figure out how to raise the funds for the event, and then it would that's how it's going to happen. That's what we're going to do. And then when Cherry dropped out, I was so entrenched in this dream. What I needed to do was cut my loss and to not be so emotionally invested and think logically, because I really am not qualified to run something like that. And so I was like, screw it, I'll just do both of it. I'll do all of it. I'll do the whole thing. And so that was what I did. And we were moving that direction. And I had enough money to do it. We were good on money to do it, but I was going to leave Oceanside broke. And then Billy Mitchell starts sending me notices, saying there's publishing articles saying they're going to sue me. And I was just like, shit, dude, I really do not want to go into a lawsuit without any money. That's, I'm going to have to hire a lawyer. This is a giant mess. And then I found out there was people dropping out because there was someone who was offering money, sponsorships, not to attend. And I just let it get to me too much. It was really me. It was stupid, dude. It was like a 5-year-old with a bunch of blocks. Knocked it over. It's totally just an emotional, not really thinking it through. And so I just left. That's really why I left. I was just screw this.
So Billy Mitchell ruined Oceanside, confirmed. All right.
No, he didn't. He ruined it. It's all me. Don't put up.
Okay.
It is me.
All right. Well, there you go.
Owning up to it, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now
it's a good idea, but man, I can't believe.
One thing I should say on this stream, because I forgot to say it on my stream. Apparently, about this, I did email everyone who donated and offer them a refund. There was a couple people who said you can just hold on to it, but I paid pretty much everyone back a refund. So I would not do that, just in case anyone thinks that I would not.
No, I heard that as well. People was
that is not me, and also. Not that I would do that for any amount of money. I would not scam people. That's not me. But I would definitely not do that for $400. That's so that's just so stupid. I'm gonna ruin my reputation and possibly face legal ramifications over $400. It makes no sense. So I just want to clarify that for everyone.
Thank you for clarifying. That's good to know. Definitely some word spreading, people thinking you're scamming people. So I'm glad that's cleared out. I couldn't imagine.
If I had done that, don't you think there were people saying, "Where's my money?"
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hear anything about that. I thought that was just noise. Yeah. So I'm glad I was right.
Yeah, I just have to clarify that.
I actually didn't really hear. I didn't really hear or see anybody accusing.
I heard it from someone else.
Okay.
Tipster told me that other people were saying it, but so I don't know how many people were actually. Yeah,
Reddit trolls.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Taking that all on by yourself, I can definitely see how that's overwhelming. Running an event, there's so much that goes into it. So
There's so much that goes into it. It's totally, yeah, it's a full-time job for sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So jumping gears a bit, I guess. 2019 is coming real soon, and there are, a lot of people saying 2019 is going to be hot speedrunning. What do you think is going to happen to speedrunning in the next year or next few years? Where would you like to see speedrunning go in the next few years?
It feels like it's turning off faster and faster. Okay. My fundamental goal for 2019 and going forward is to bring in as many people to speedrunning as possible. It might be kind of hard for some people to believe, but I really do want to make speedrunning as inclusive and as open a place as possible, even for the people I don't get along with. I want every person who could possibly be interested in speedrunning to start speedrunning. And so that's really what I'm going to focus on going forward. As to where speedrunning goes, I think I have really high hopes for it, man. I feel like it's just like we've got this like amazing foundation and we're just about to build this beautiful mansion. Like we haven't even started. Speedrunning it's in its infancy still.
Yeah.
It's
totally
just about
agree.
to explode into who knows what.
I got chills when you said
I have really
that.
high hopes. Like I think the next 5 years are going to be like, it's going to be life changing. Like we're going to look back and think how much everything has changed.
I got chills when you first said that, because I think that's exactly the words I would, at least the way I would put it, is I think a lot of people, if not almost like most people, because I think this is a majority kind of opinion that people have, is that people keep saying that speedrunning is plateauing. Speedrunning, we have gotten all the events and stuff that we can have, and there's nothing else we can really do. Speedrunning is really only a casual kind of setting. It's only really for marathons and charity. It can't really get to like esports or anything like that. And we're just gonna accept what is happening now and just keep going to GDQs or keep grinding for world records.
I love hearing that, dude.
It's
keep going. Finish it.
Yeah, I do not. I think it's not like it's their fault, but I just think that they're not seeing the bigger picture at all. I'm totally in disagreement, and I agree with what you said. I think it's completely in its infancy right now. Speedrunning. I think speedrunning is about to explode pretty much in the next few years.
I love hearing that from people, because those same people just a few years ago were saying like speedrunning will never be anything. Like they're just like a few years ago they were saying the same crap, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's changing right before your eyes. You can acknowledge it or not, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like it's in an uptrend. I don't know why you would assume that it's just going to level off for some reason. It's gonna keep going until it has a reason to stop.
There was a video that came out. I think it was pretty recently, from an organization called The Score Esports. I don't know if you know about them. They have about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's pretty big. And they made a video about speedrunning. They were talking about speedrunning, mostly about GDQ, of course. And near the end of the video, they were talking about races and then the marathon style. And then all of a sudden they said, so this is why speedrunning can't really make it in the esports world and the competitive world, because it's just seen as this and that. And I'm just like, I just got upset right away. I was like, why does everyone say this? Why is this coming out of from, why?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there is something to say that speedrunning is a little different than esports in that this is like, it's even I think speedrunning has even more potential than esports. Like it's even greater, because when you watch an esport, you're watching for the game, the competition, and that's a big part of speedrunning too. But there's also like, you want to learn more, or you enjoy this specific stream. There's more to it, and so I think that maybe esports just isn't good enough, man.Maybe we need something that's even greater than maybe we need our own thing that encapsulates all of what makes speedrunning great.
This is actually what I was saying as well earlier today. Not on stream but offline. I totally agree. I think that because speedrunning it's not one game. It's thousands of games. It's an entire thing by itself. So then it maybe doesn't have to be categorized as esports if it gets to that level. but it would be something else of its own caliber. But speedrunning can't do that because of how much potential it has.
Right. The like the potential. How do I put it, man? Like, if you just show an average, just whatever, just some random person speedrunning, there's actually a very good chance that they're going to be interested in it. But if you just turn on like a random competitive esport, they probably won't be. And so I think that if you look at the whole population, I think there's way more potential for speedrunning in the end, even if it's not as far as esports right now. I think it will go farther. What's going on?
Please.
That's my mom is having some fun with the dog in the hallway.
She wasn't talking to you?
Sometimes she'll be talking to me like that, but not this particular instance.
He is the dog. Have you seen his hair?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. This shit is unruly. But you were saying.
Oh, I forget. I've lost it.
No. Well, we were talking about what were we talking about?
We're just jerking speedrunning off right now. Speedrunning is just like popping off. It's competitive. Like, okay, we can talk esports and stuff. If it's possible, that's not where it ends up going. I mean, we've already seen like your videos, ApolloLegend. They aren't like a lot of these don't even necessarily relate to the competitive side. It's mostly just like the interest, like the info, the knowledge side, like what's actually going on. Or like some insights, like weirdest moments in speedrunning or whatever. It's not even a competitive angle. It's just like weird things happening in a game. And same thing with like, I guess it's kind of competitive, someone insults angle, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously reaching a large audience of people that don't even know who these speedrunners are or might not even know what Twitch is. It's just people browsing YouTube. It's like these videos are blowing up because they're interesting, they're fun, they're engaging. So yeah, man. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm all in on speedrunning.
I wish we had like a speedrun population chart. That would be really interesting to see, like how many people are actually speedrunning over time.
It exists on speedrun.com. They have stats where you can see like users and people that submit runs and how many and it's basically like what do you call that graph? It's just like a consistent incline, basically.
That's good. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna check that out. That's good to hear.
You call that a simp up?
That's awesome.
A simp, yeah. That's it. The simp up. Yeah. But you know, I was thinking it's kind of complex thought, but I'm gonna try to word it in a way that makes sense. I think a lot of it has to do with, like, a lot of people see Summoning Souls videos, for example, world record progressions, and a lot of people that have been around for a while, they I guess they reach a point where maybe they're tired of speedrunning a game, or they don't know where to go with their game. So they kind of decide, you know what, maybe I'm not going to speedrun as much, but just be involved in speedrunning different aspects. Make videos, watch videos, learn about different things, make podcasts or whatever. But, you know, and they reach a point where, you know, they see all these games and the work progressions, and it's reached so optimized. All these popular games are so optimized now. People think that speedrunning is reaching that plateau because all of the times are getting optimized. Times are optimized. All these videos are being brought out about the past and how great the past was. So everyone has seen this, and they're kind of saying, okay, maybe, you know, speedrunning. This is kind of a sign that speedrunning is plateauing. People are kind of getting like, you know, what else? What else is there? And because that could be a reason why people are thinking that speedrunning is plateauing or it reached its cap or whatever. But
right, I see what you mean. Like we need to almost not focus so much on the world records and more of like
or
greater aspect of like the speedrunning itself,
or not focus on what already exists but what can be possible. So
focus on what's new.
Focus on your energy on what you think could happen and where you see it going instead of what has already happened.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Yeah.
Switching back to like 2019, the future. What is the future for ApolloLegend? You say you want to make speedrunning more accessible, get more people into speedrunning. What is the game plan? Can you clue us in on what you've got?
I don't have a game plan, unfortunately. That is my. I mean, I'm gonna keep making videos. I have lots of videos in the works. I'm gonna start. I've got my stream I've got going now. I've got like a legit computer, so I'm gonna actually try to get some good times in 1080p instead of 240p.
Let's go.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good question that I need to really think over more. What specifically do I need to do to bring in the largest number of people? How do you inspire someone to speedrun? Like
Mhm.
it's kind of fun because you're like applying speedrun logic to other things. Like what's the most
Yeah.
optimal way to get people interested? How can I do this most efficiently?
Right.
And I don't know yet. I
So,
don't know.
okay, since you brought that up, what is your opinion on? Do you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. It's good. It just
Uh,
keeps cutting back.
I was just saying. Well, since you mentioned that, I want to ask, what is your opinion on the guides and the guide systems and videos that currently exist in speedrunning? Do you think that they need to be?
Has anything happened with that in the last year? Because I haven't checked.
Well,
But
that's just the thing, right? So a common issue in speedrunning has always been that there's no proper guide system.
yeah,
A person in the community would randomly just wake up one day and be like, yeah, I want to make a guide for this, and a lot of the guides are very it's hard to follow, and it's not completely informative to enough where it answers all the questions, and there's a lot of complications. I mean, do you think in order for much more people to get into speedrunning, the guides need to be improved a lot?
yeah. No, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that needs to be done. Did you guys ever see that speedrun breakdown thing that Trihex tried to do?
I did not catch it.
Where was it
That
on
was
YouTube?
a similar. He did an announcement on Twitch, and then everyone was like, "This is stupid. Why are you doing this?" And so he didn't do it. But basically, he was trying to standardize tutorials under this one name, Speedrun Breakdown, so where everyone you could just go to this place and you could learn like whatever the knowledge of the day is, and it would break it down for you and help people learn. Because that I do think that's probably I think that's a really good point. That's probably the number one issue is that people are interested in speedrunning. I've seen this happen over and over with friends of mine. They're interested and they try and it's too hard. I don't want to do this, and they quit before they even like complete one run because they don't understand it. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Speedrunners will say like, "Oh, if you really care, you would just go and find the information. I guess you don't care enough." No, we need to be putting it out there. I mean, we lose when they don't speedrun. Okay, it's not they're not taking anything from us. We gain from having more people in the community, and so yeah, if you want to have, I mean, if you want to have that attitude, fine. I mean, you can just speedrun and do whatever you want, and you don't. That's great too, and that's fun and that's cool. But I think we need. I forget where I was going with that. Sorry, I lost it. We need more people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So Pity brought up a good point. Guides can be tough in games like OOT where there are constant strat changes, route changes, and that's a really good point. So it's definitely situational, right? When it comes to different games and stuff.
How do you do that? It would almost be better to organize it like not in maybe like organize it by trick, and you could be like maybe like the route could be put together like on the website almost.
Yeah, I guess
like it stacks the tutorials you need together and like shows you the current route without having to have someone go through the whole current route every time there's a new one.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what I've I think the idea of a website in the first place is a good thing. Or having a website that has that system built in where you can basically go on in whichever game you want. But again, that's a complication that exists, right? So like there are thousands of speed games. It's like you're not gonna get every single game with a good guide or good tutorials or whatever. So it's like, well, it's almost hard to even talk about it. So but again, it's what makes speedrunning so have that potential as well to be its own thing.
But those core games,
yeah,
you
of
really
course
should have.
Yeah,
like the only reason I was able to learn GoldenEye on the Smashbox was because of Goose's tutorial. Like I watched that tutorial and I was able to do it because of that. I don't know what I would have done otherwise.
So, I guess having a website or an org where they focus on the core games or a specific set of games, like 20 games, 20 most popular speed games, and they make sure and get proper tutorials and guides and stuff for those games. I mean, that kind of knocks out like 90% of the interest, right? Of because if you look at speedrunning, it's like there are like 20, 30 games that totally dominate when it comes to numbers, and then thousands of games where there's like 1, 2, 3 runners, you know. So I guess, I mean, I think that would be the best way that we could try to
yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I want to definitely spend some time thinking about how to do that.
Yeah,
there needs to be like, you need to find a way to incentivize runners to actually want to participate, because it's not like there's one person who knows everything.
Right.
Like, it needs to be a group effort.
That's a good point too, incentive. Because like making a tutorial is not easy. I mean, that's why there's such a lack of tutorials, is because you have to put time into thinking, okay, how does the lay person need to understand this? Like, what else do I need to break down for them to even understand? I don't even think you need to necessarily focus on the main games. Like, I think those would just come naturally, but instead providing a platform where somebody who claims to be like, okay, I will take care of part of the route, or I'll take care of part of building this game, give me the power to like add to the website, and then they can start running off and doing their game, and then you give it to another person for SM64 or a group of people that want to work on it. Like, there's already a lot of stuff in place too. There definitely just be some merging. Like, there's like the Mario guides are pretty good right now. Like 60, there's a good 16 star, a good 70 star. I think there's a good 120 star. It's just putting it all in one hub where it's really easy to find. And if, for example, you're like, I'm sick of this game, I want another game, and you can be on that same page or same area and be like, all right, where is this game?
So that's the difficulty, right? So Mario 4 does have really good tutorials right now, but they have to get Discord. They have to find the Discord. They have to go in the Mario Discord and find the resources and get the tutorials, right? Or maybe on YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta do some digging.
But I think the main issue is that connection, or that initial connection. So like a new person watches a GDQ run or whatever, a GSA event or speed gaming, and they see speedrunning, they're like, oh my god, this looks amazing, I want to get into this game looks awesome. And it's that process is the hardest one. It's for them to find from nothing to that tutorial video. How did they find it? Where is the connection? And that's why, like Simply said, having a hub where it's like the place to go to find speedrunning guides, no matter what. And you would find the game, and then you see the guides.
We need to bring Trihex back with his whatever his plan was.
Speedrun breakdown. Break it down for us, Trihex.
I do wonder how many like plans throughout speedrunning have there been like that just got shut down, and like where could we be today if those things had been done? Who knows?
Yeah, clearly there's a want for it. I think also collaborating can be a hard thing, but I think we've covered a decent amount of meat on this topic. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say in regards to like guides and getting people into speedrunning?
That's all I have.
I think we're good. I think we're ready for that hot Q&A. Yeah, I think we are ready, guys. If you have questions, post them in the chat. You can also plop them in our Discord, where they are pretty much guaranteed to be read out. There's a questions channel in the Two Dads Discord. Please also try to address your question if it's for a specific person. What do you need to know? What do you want to know? I want to know when you went bald.
Like a year or two ago. I don't even remember.
So is that like
I'm so thankful I went bald, because my hair looked so stupid my whole life. Now it's just gone. Like, I never had a good hairline. Like, even like when I was 14, it started going, dude. Like, I remember cutting my hair in my freshman year of high school, and some girls are like, "Is your hair thinning?" Like, that was not whatever.
That's
just
get it out. Get it off there.
Dude. Exactly. I'm just like a naked mole rat.
Okay. Be sure to join the Discord, guys. It's on the link. The Two Dads. Best place to ask the questions.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the Two Dads Discord and let you know when stuff gets plopped. If stuff gets plopped.
All right. Are you hyped for AGDQ 2019?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, we'll see where it goes. Each year I honestly pay less and less attention. I think GDQs are really great for the people who go there. I do, and for the people who want. It does. I've been very critical of GDQ, and I feel I should give them more credit for what they have done.
Right.
And they have done a lot, and it is a really great place for speedrunners to come gather and meet people who would be isolated otherwise most of the year. What was the question though?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, if you if you're hyped for this coming GDQ 2019, or if you hope to see something different.
Each year, I just feel like it's been less and less entertaining for me personally. I find each year the stream to get more and more boring, and I pretty much don't watch it anymore. But I'm always excited for like the stuff that goes down. There's always some like big story coming out of it. So yeah. I'm excited for that, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming more and more. I mean, it's the same thing. Like there's never really a change. There's a swap of games, maybe a different runner, different commentators, but for the most part, it's like the same general format, which is fine. Like it's consistent. It gets new people in. But for the people who have seen it 10 times, it's just like I personally don't go in the stream room. I barely watch any runs. That's mostly for the people, which that's what it's awesome for. Like an area to bring a bunch of runners together. And,
party.
Party hard, meet up with your buddies, have a couple brewskis, pop a couple mollies, throw a couple around if you got it. Goddamn.
If you got it. Vac has an interesting question. Sorry to be that guy, but what does Apollo think about what happened to Goose?
Dude, I'm actually working on a video on it.
Ooh. Okay. We got something out of him.
He's getting banned, but what do I think about it? I think it's like obviously some of the things he said was pretty like messed up, but
yeah,
that's not. I really don't like going around and like evaluating whether or not you. Like, we're gonna ban this guy who's been on stream multiple times, never been any sort of issue on stream, never like disrupted the stream, always been a positive, cooperative guy on the GDQ stream. There's no reason to think this guy is gonna disrupt the event or cause any issues. And now we're banning him because of some distasteful opinions that he shared on Discord. It's like, is that really the road we want to go down? Because if we're gonna start digging through all the Discord messages of all the speedrunners, that's a really just like an ugly game to play. Like, it's really, I don't know. I just don't like that. Like I said, I want speedrunning to be as inclusive as possible. And I want everyone to be invited. I understand, like, if someone's going to disrupt the stream, there's some sort of issue, you got to get rid of them. But the way I see what happened with Goose, it was completely just to appease the hate that was, appease the mob that was, going crazy on Twitter. That's totally what it was.
Yeah, like, and we talked about this with Alt on the last episode. It's the two dads. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking with Alt Insider about how it's like a can of worms. Like, you open it up, then exactly where does it go from here? Because if we're gonna do it for like the person out there who's this pissed off or mad about somebody, that they're willing to dig up Discord PMs, or maybe even somebody like fabricates them, like
it's really hard to verify that stuff.
How deep will we go? I
think they did verify it because Goose's stuff was from like a public Discord, I think. So I think they verified at least some of it. But yeah, just that general, like, we're really gonna do that where you just see someone's name and then some text, and then it's ugly. It's not. It's not a pretty thing.
Yeah, it's a really tough thing to handle. I feel like there's no like perfect way to go about it. Somebody's always going to be pissed off, but
that's true. It's true. GDQ they're in a tough spot because they definitely can't make everyone happy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, there is no decision that will make everyone happy.
I touched a lot on it. I did a lot of investigating on it, and GDQ is way too tough on its. They're in a tough spot, yeah, and a lot of people are kind of sad that GDQ has gone in this corporate kind of direction, but it's hard to blame them too because it's not their fault essentially that they get so big, And when something gets that big, it's kind of like, well, you almost have no choice.
Yeah, but I also just wonder if they don't understand who their audience, or maybe I don't understand who their audience is. Maybe their audience really is like a bunch of people who want to watch that kind of stream. But just for me personally, I think the most entertaining way to present it would, or a more entertaining way to present it would be the old way, where it was just, it wasn't about GDQ. It was like games, like this is the event, games done quick, but it was about the runners. It was about displaying the community that already existed and already had been built up. And now I feel like it's more about displaying a certain image to the public and trying to, you know, you're trying to, yeah, you've kind of become this corporate kind of, but it just doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, I don't know, dude. I go back and forth on it. I don't know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it is true. It's a private event. Like, they can do what they want. As long as it doesn't bleed into, like, actual factual territory, and that's what we talked about with alt, like, leaderboards, like Speedrun.com. Right. If Speedrun.com, like, people start getting banned for things like this, then I think that's when things will hit the fan.
That's way out of control. And that's really why this all began, was because Goose actually did that to someone else, so he kind of deserves it. But like, because he banned that guy over on me for his opinions, and so it was kind of like, oh yeah, you're gonna do that. Well then here's we'll do the same thing to you.
Yes. All right. Well, questions, people throw them. There's a lot of. I'll scroll up, see if I can find any.
Yeah, there are probably quite a few. Somebody asked me, what do you believe can rival esports if speedrunning can't make it as one? Oof. Yeah, that's a hard question. I mean, I don't know if there would be something that, I don't think it's necessary to rival esports. I don't see why it would be a necessity, or if it would be possible.
It's not direct competition.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely not. And the thing is, like, again, speedrunning can't. First of all, what makes it so that speedrunning, or who says it actually has made it as an esport? And another question is like, does it matter if it's called an esport? I guess, because speedrunning has so much potential and it's so big, speedrunning can create its own competition and its own competitive world, and it could still be successful and then reach where it could reach without people outside being, hey, this new esport speedrunning, whatever. I don't think it has to be categorized as an esport.
Yeah, when I say I want speedrunning to be an esport, I almost mean it more like metaphorical. Like I want it to be on that level of attention. I don't know if it needs to be specifically. Although I don't know, it would be kind of cool to have, like, maybe if some games get to that point, maybe like a game could become an esport. Like speedrunning Mario 64 could be there.
Yeah, so that was actually what I was thinking of recently, and it's an interesting thought because I don't think anybody's really thought about that in depth or really consider it. It's like, wait, okay, let's take apart speedrunning for a bit and let's think about the games. So, and you look at all these new games coming out: Celeste, Deltarune, Odyssey. These games come out and they're immediately on the top of speedrun.com with the most active games, most active runners. People are starting to speedrun because of competition, because of these new games coming out, and they want to get into it, and they want to start speedrunning right away. So it's like, in the years to come, these new games that come out are going to get more and more active players, where there'll be so many players for some games that, and the better guides or whatever.
Cool. That's like a different way of thinking about speedrunning. Like it almost evolved speedrunning the newest game. Like it could be like, it's not always the same game, but more of a test of your, like a true test of skill as a gamer. Like how fast can you learn and adapt and adapt to new games.
Yeah.
I think they can coexist for sure. Like Mario 64 is not going anywhere, at least in the near future.
Oh, for sure. No, it's whatever you make it. That's the great thing about speedrunning, is it's all you.
Yeah.
It is whatever you want it to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting point. Okay, so.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, well, I guess Steve makes a point here. What's the definition of esport? If something gaming is competitive and large in player base and audience, then isn't it by default an esport? Well, I think
really, like, what's the level though? Like what's the cutoff?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's really hand wavy. It's like it doesn't matter like if it's an esport or not. It's clearly like got a following. It's got a player base. Whether or not we consider it an esport, I feel like is irrelevant. It's just like, is it competitive? Yes, it's very competitive. People are passionate. People put hours and hours in without even money, like no monetary gain. Like there's people who will maybe hop on the next big game with money on their mind. But like you come into speedrunning, you probably don't have money on your mind. Like it's mostly just the pride. It's super fun.
Yeah, if you want to make money, you should spend your time doing something else.
At least right now. Maybe down the future, maybe down the line.
Well, yeah,
you know,
but I'm just saying, like, if
speedrunning.
you're gonna, like, I mean, yeah, well, yeah, if you want to make money today, you should do something else. I guess if
Yep.
maybe you want to think long term, maybe we'll see.
Right. So, like, to add to Sibley's point, yeah, if is it happening, but is it also working, and is it growing? So, yeah, you got to consider those things. But yeah, that's. I think that's we're good to go.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
So we have some interesting things going on in the podcast.
Yeah, the Discord, the Discord's popping off right now. Thank you very much, ApolloLegend. Is there any final words you have for us?
Just thanks for having me, guys. It was fun talking, and I'm totally happy to come back on anytime you need someone. So yeah, just let me know if you need someone. I'll be happy.
Awesome, dude.
Look forward to new content and yeah, next few years.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you pop off. I'm glad you're doing well. Good to hear from you. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm Simply.
I'm Cheese.
And this has been the Two Dads Podcast Live. Yeah, with ApolloLegend, the Legend, episode 22. We'll be on YouTube shortly, and we will get it popping on, Android and iPhones and stuff like that. So thanks, guys, and have a wonderful night. Peace.
Goodbye, everyone.
Yep.